Hi, this is Patrick Barrera from Grantham Academy. I wanted to share a video today about a new function I've just discovered. For me is query. So what I have going on at the end of the year is I have to take information in my inventory, which is pretty long-winded. It has lots of different columns, none of which a teacher would ever really need to see. But it does have some useful information like serial numbers, asset tag numbers, and sort of some information for me. If I've labeled them 1 through 15 and it's in level up tub 7, I want to kind of know that. But I also want to verify some of this information with the teacher too at the end of the year. Now, right now, I really don't have a way to export this in chunks, in usable chunks for my teachers or for me to print out, and I wanted a solution for that. So in comes a function called query. So in query, and I want to show it to you here, very first thing it's going to, what you got to tell it is which tab in the workbook are we talking about. In my case, all my data is in something called campus-wide, and I don't have any spaces, so I don't have to put this in quotation marks. So I'm just referring to a tab called campus-wide. It's a sheet within my workbook that has all my data, and that's where I'm going to be referring to. So that's the first thing it's going to say. And then I have an exclamation point, and then I'm going to tell the function what my range is. Right now, I want it to look for all the way at the top of my sheet, the top of my data, A, and the first one is after my heading is A3 or A2. Let's look at that. A2. And I want it to look all the way over to this column here, which is F, and if you see, my data goes all the way down to, past 1600, but I'm going to tell it, 2000, just to give me a nice healthy range. Next thing I'm going to say is comma, space, and then I'm going to start to describe which columns I want to display in my query. So I want to display C, which is this one. It tells me if the equipment is assigned to student or teacher. D, which is this one, tells me what my asset tag number is, or Aldine ISD number is. And then I'm going to skip over to A, which tells me the profile type. This is like a little helper for me to know if I've labeled the machine with a friendly number like 1 through 4 that corresponds to a monitor and monitor and PC, and I'm just going to refer to that here. Or if my Chromebook has a number 1 on it, that makes it easier for everybody, the teacher, me, to quickly figure out, hey, this is number 1, and I don't have to go looking at actual serial numbers because my labels haven't changed. So I wanted to refer to that, and then I have column E, which is a model number descriptor, and then finally F, which is my serial number. So those are the columns I want to actually display. Now, if you'll notice, I didn't say anything about B. I don't want to display B because that's got my room number, and it would just say that same room number over and over, which is ridiculous to look at, because I'm actually going to type that in on the to make the query work. So I'm going to refer to B, make an argument for B, and saying whatever B equals what I put in cell number A3, go ahead and display all the rows that match that query. Okay, so coming over here, see, I've got rows, and this is where all the information is going to print out. I say that in quotes, print out. Now it's going to display it, and I've actually got a cell called room number that I'm going to, it's A3, which I'm going to type different numbers in, room 405, whatever. And I want all that, I want only that information displayed below. So I'm going to refer to that. B equals, B and all my data information should equal what I type in up here in the corner. And then this part is just how do you want the information displayed? Right here. Order by C descending and A ascending. So just like you can go to, just like you can go to your main data, take a chunk of it and sort it, data, sort range, and just like I can say, sort by C descending, I can do that here too. This is sort of what the argument's supposed to look like, descending. And then I can add another column and say A is going to be ascending. Don't say that in front of kids. All right, and then I could then hit sort. So the way that this GUI is sort of asking us to do a sort. That's what this part of the function does. And then we're going to close it off with a space and a quote, comma, and then the last part of the argument is, do you want to display header information? Does the range have header information? And how many rows of header information do you have? Well, I had one row of header information, but I didn't want to display it, and I didn't want to even look at that because I have my own headers, which I was just going to match up on my, I'm calling it a receipt for my teachers. So I'm just going to put 0 because I don't want that. But if you do want your header information to show up and you have one row of headers, just put a 1 there. And then that's it. So let's jump over and paste that in and see what it does. So back here, I'm going to put in my query, and boom, I get information. So it's sort of like printing out your data based on an argument. My argument is anything that matches room 405, show me those rows within a certain range. So let's say room 406, I get some different information. So I could literally start from room 101 in my school, and I can print this out for my teacher and just go through each room. And you kind of see that this fits within a piece of paper, one sheet, and I print that out. Now, one thing that I did, because my model numbers are kind of, I did this so that they sorted correctly when I sorted by that range, but sometimes I just want to know, which document cameras do I have? And the model number doesn't tell me that, and I didn't want to create another column of information. So I just put in my model numbers DC underscore. And that tells me that whatever comes next is referring to a document camera. Whatever model number is next. But what I did for my teachers so that they would know what that model of information is I created an argument right here. And I said, if the model number starts with a DC underscore, I'm gonna call it a document camera over here. MN underscore, I'm gonna call it a monitor. Since that's my process, then I wanted the teachers to have that interpreted for them here on another column. So this is not part of the query. It's actually another argument, which I pasted all the way down. And that argument just starts like this. So, let's say I only had one descriptor, PC underscore. Then my argument would say, if the left 3 letters of that description there, of that text, started with PC underscore, then print out computer in that cell. If not, then print out nothing. And then I close that off. But since I had 5 different arguments, let's see, 3, 6, so 8 different arguments, and 8 different possibilities that could be there, instead of this part, which said print nothing, I just started another argument. sorry, another argument. So if it's not this, then let's look at this argument. It could be mn underscore and monitor. So anyway, that's there, and I didn't want to, that's kind of outside the scope of this tutorial or highlight video. But I just want to know that's where this information came from. If I were to take that argument out, it would just be a blank cell. So here's my actual working document, and you know, I'm on room 408 now, and I just, you know, keep printing. Thought this was a really cool function, the query function. I've never used it before, and I wanted to show you kind of how powerful it is and what it can do for you. Thanks a lot.